welcome to your 6-month tarot reading. We are going to dive into the energies of the next 6 months, particularly because it is a very significant time frame for each of us. Okay. So before we dive into it, I do want to, first of all, thank each one of you who have subscribed. I've reached over 100 subscribers. My channel's new, so every one of you that are appreciating this content, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So those of you who have not yet subscribed, please do and hit the notification bell. Also, remember to like the video and make comments. Leave comments. I'd love to hear from you and get to know those of you who are interested in what I'm bringing forward. So thank you again. Next, I would like to just let each one of you know that this intro will be in every one of your readings, okay? Because I do not want to potentially miss something, as this information is so important. By repeating it 12 times, that can get kind of redundant, first of all. And secondly, as it goes on, I may end up forgetting a piece or two. So we don't want that to happen. So typically I give each one of you your own special time in the beginning. But at this point, let's go ahead and just be all on one page, because even though it's going to impact us differently, and that's why you'll each have a reading, right? But the energies are affecting all of us. Okay. So the reason this is so significant is because Chiron has just gone into retrograde. Now, every one of us has a Chiron placement in our chart, in our natal chart. Oh, I should also say, I am not an astrologer. Okay. I am not. I am a tarot reader, but I am very sensitive to current energies. Okay. And when I feel the planet shifting, when I feel something significant, like I did this last December when Chiron went direct, I felt very impacted on looking at the Chiron wound. And many of you may be feeling very impacted by this Chiron retrograde. Okay. Um, and you may have been really dealing with your Chiron wound as of last December. It may have flared up for you also. So what is the Chiron wound? What am I talking about? So if you're not familiar, the Chiron wound is a wound that you would have had since birth, okay? And it will have impacted you throughout your entire life. Now, let's dive into Chiron's story, because we'll need to make some parallels here so that it really gives you the depth of what's going on. So, Chiron was conceived in in a rape condition. Okay, so his mother was, okay? So what happened is, let's do this. Let's really chat. All right. So what happened was Saturn came to Earth to see his son Zeus, or Jupiter, and he fell in love, or was taken back, very much interested in a water nymph. And he pursued her, and she just continued to not be interested in him and escaping him. So she comes to Zeus, or Jupiter, and asks him to turn her into a horse, a mare, so that she can get away from Saturn. And so he does. Well, Saturn finds out, and he turns himself into a stallion, and he meets up with her, and they produce a child. So when it's time for her to give birth, she goes up into the mountains and she births this child. And because they were, had been horses at the time, she gave birth to a half human, half boy, and half horse, half stallion. Okay. So she was mortified at this. She was embarrassed. She did not want to raise this child. So she abandoned him in a field. And she went back to Zeus and asked him to turn her into a tree. And he did. So that's mom. Mom's out of the picture. But you can see where he was conceived in a trauma, and then at birth, he had a trauma. This is where it begins to parallel our lives, okay? Because you will have this in your chart. This wound has been placed there, and you chose this at a soul level of what you wanted to really be an impact. Now, where this is really great is Chiron is also known as the wounded healer. So a shepherd found him in the field and takes him to the temple of Apollo. And Apollo and his sister Athena, Artemis. I am so sorry, you guys. I want to say Athena, but it could have been Artemis. Okay. So whoever is Apollo's sister. Okay. So they raised him and gave him an elite education. He learned prophetic abilities. He learned the healing arts and medicine. He learned art itself and the beauty of art. And he learned the ways of a noble warrior, where fighting is the last option when it comes to war. Okay. And he taught a lot of gods and heroes, which are demigods. He taught a lot of them throughout history and their Greek mythology. Okay. So he taught a lot of them. Later, he ended up sustaining his own physical wound. Okay, he was in battle with Hercules. They were on the same team. Hercules had an arrow that was had been dipped in poison made by a god, and had shot his target, and it went through the target and hit Chiron in either the thigh or the knee, depending on which story you're looking at. So he was wounded, and because he is a demigod, um, he could not die, and because it was a poison that was created by a god, he could not heal it. So he asked for his immortality to be taken from him so that he could die from this wound. And so he did. Now there's another part of the story where it branches off, and he sends Hercules to free Prometheus, which, I mean, it kind of pertains because Prometheus is Aquarius energy, but we're not going to go into that. We could, but not today. Not today. Okay, so we all know that Pluto is in Aquarius right now, and Pluto is helping us to mine. Oh, it does. Ah, sorry, that's why it's coming up. Okay, see, this is why I didn't want to repeat it 12 times. Okay, so Prometheus is the energy is some of Aquarius. Okay, Prometheus had stole the fire back for man, because he, according to Greek mythology, he created man, so he was aligned not with the god Zeus, who took the fire as punishment from man. He went actually to Apollo and got the fire back from the sun and gave it back to man. Okay, so and then Zeus had him apprehended and chained him to a pillar, and had an eagle come and eat out his liver every day, repeatedly, for forever, for eternity, or until a hero demigod came and rescued him or saved him. And so when Chiron, and I'm not sure exactly how it takes his immortality away, but it does. When he sends Hercules to free Prometheus, because we know Hercules is a demigod, he's a hero. When he frees him, Chiron is able to then be mortal now. Okay, and so he goes and he lives with the other centaurs, which were brutes. They come from a very different lineage, a dark lineage, and they were just kind of beasts. They were unruly. They obeyed no law, right? And they had their way. They would terrorize villages and had their way with women, drank too much, just kind of did their own thing at their own will. Well, Chiron went and lived with them for 700 years, and he was able to teach them all of the things that he had learned with his education with gods, and help to civilize these centaurs. And now we all, in just broad strokes of mythology, if you're not going too deep into it, you can see where centaurs are actually noble creatures in many depictions. Okay, so this is how they got there, was Chiron. Okay, so how does this affect you? Well, your Chiron wound connects directly with your purpose. And we know Chiron's in Aries. We know that our North Node currently is in Aries. Okay. And as of last year's, is it last year's or this or both? I'm not sure. Anyway, as of the eclipse of it was the eclipse that had to do with Aries and Libra. Okay, which is where the north and south nodes are. It opens up this portal for us to be able to heal it. Okay, especially when Chiron, that was this last spring. Okay, Chiron went direct last December. Now he's retrograde again. Okay, and in his retrograde, he's retrograding with Pluto. That's why it was important for me to mention Aquarius energy, because Pluto is in Aquarius now, just like Prometheus or Aquarius, has stolen the fire because he was back for man, because he was aligned to his creation. He was aligned to his own purpose, and not disobeying some godhead. That's what Aquarius is asking each one of us to do, is to be able to step into our authentic self and align ourselves with our own purpose, our own creations, the creation of your own life. Now, what does Pluto have to do with it? So Pluto is Hades. Okay. Pluto is, and the reason why they have two names is, if you don't know, is that Greek mythology, they have one name, and Roman mythology was derived from Greek mythology, is what all the planets are named after, is the Roman god names. Okay. So they're the same people. So, all right. So now, but their stories are just, they're extended stories with the Roman mythology. Okay. So let's go back to Aquarius here. And this Aquarius energy now we know that Pluto went into Aquarius, right? As of earlier this year, finally went, to stay there for a period of time. I think it's doing, when a retrograde, it does touch back into Capricorn for just a moment. But when it does go retrograde, as Pluto retrogrades, it is going to create a conjunction with Chiron. And Pluto, like I said, is Hades, which is your own personal underworld. Now, that can sound a little bit scary, going into your own personal hell, right? And we can all agree that the wound that we've carried with our own life has been our own personal hell. Well, the beauty of Pluto is that Pluto mines the wealth that is under the surface. Okay. So if Pluto is helping, so they're going to go conjunct in like the same degree, like 21 degrees, 20 degrees, and 19 degrees, when they are doing this dance together, Pluto and Chiron. So as Chiron's in retrograde and as Pluto's in retrograde, and they're going to be, like I said, doing this, Pluto's going to help you get underneath everything and help you to recognize where all of the skills, all of the talents, all of the things that you personally have been able to cultivate from a wounded state, just like Chiron did when he received his education. So, and retrograde Chiron's going to help you take a look, revisit that wound, but it's going to be in a very beautiful, harmonious way to help you release it once and for all, to align you with your purpose. Okay. This is your Chiron, the wounded healer. As you, as you heal that wound, it becomes your biggest medicine. Your biggest wound throughout your life becomes your biggest medicine, and becomes prevalent within achieving your own personal purpose, your own personal destiny, which is promise that you made to yourself when you chose to come into this lifetime. So you can see how all these things are working together, and the stories really parallel what's going on with your life. Now, as I've done a little bit of research, I have discovered that the Chiron wound can often be connected to the mother wound. So, looking at where your moon is in your chart, the mother wound, by looking at the moon in your chart. Now, why the moon? Because the moon does represent mother figure, the maternal aspects within each of us, the mother figures that we have had in our life, you as a mother figure to other people, whatever that looks like for you. But this Chiron wound, may have something to do with wounds that your own mother had. You may have gotten this in utero, which can be often called like karmic or ancestral wounds, right? But you'll notice, as you take a look at the things that have been really activated over this last 7 months, especially, um, may have something to do with what your mother dealt with and you have been perpetuating in your own life. Okay. Now, what's really interesting, when I said it's a beautiful, harmonious, take a look at it, not to scare you, not to fear this healing, but in a way that's actually going to move, because Venus is helping us out, and Venus knows what your desire is. And your desire is to feel fulfilled and purposeful in your life in your own unique way. Again, touching back to that Aquarius energy, right? You being unique, being yourself. It's sort of like rebellion energy of like, I don't need a godhead or some system telling me what I need to do. I need to be listening to my own inner guidance. Now, Venus is at the tail end of Leo. We're about to have a new moon in Leo on the 4th of August. Huge, huge part of this story. Why? Because like I said, Venus is helping you to achieve what is the most desired for you. Venus also rules Libra, which is the South Node. South Node has been working on taking you out of your comfort zones in order to achieve your destiny. And so, but Venus is also connected to the ruling planet of your um your money and your love. Okay, Venus rules both. So when we are in love with our life, when we are in harmony with our own purpose, okay, how where we feel the spark of life, where we feel the spark of joy, where we feel satisfied in our life, it is always easier to become financially, more well off and be be more open to love and loving relationships in our life. Okay. So we have this huge love element that is supporting this final healing of our wound. Now, typically somebody would have to wait 50 years for Chiron to orbit and have a return in our life. It returns every 50 years. So usually only once in a lifetime. But you may not be 50. Yeah, chances are most of you are not 50 years old watching this video. Some of you may be right around there, but we're able to really allow this wound to become our greatest medicine, our greatest purpose because of this retrograde and with Pluto and this final release of it, and not have to wait until that space and time when we are right around 50 years old. So this is miraculous. This is huge. This is a really big deal. So, what I want to do is I want to dive into the tarot with each one of you and find out what that overlighting energy looks like for you. So you may or may not be familiar with your natal chart. A lot of people don't have the information of what time they were born. So that makes it difficult to get a full picture of your natal chart. So let's rely on another tool to find out what is going to be activated within you in order to create this different storyline. You literally are able to rewrite the story of your life and make a huge quantum leap and shift upwards towards the things that you have desired for yourself. Okay. So let's find out which with each sign. I would like for you to, if you're interested, look at, oh, I'm so sorry. See? Again, glad I didn't do this 12 times. With Venus being in Leo, Leo, the sun, right? Okay, Leo the Leo sign is the sun. We're looking at father figure and your exterior external material world. You and the external, I'm saying that right? You and your external world, okay? So now you could be looking at, so what we have the opportunity here for, again, is now not only healing a wound that had been created within our mother relationship, we also have the ability to heal a wound within our father relationship, because father figure, and you in your external world. Okay. So whatever that looks like for you, we all have these feminine and masculine energies within us. Every one of us does. Every one of us has some sort of a relationship, whether they were involved in our life or not, with father, mother figures, either how you have been that for other people, how other people have been that for you. And now it is time for us to be able to do that for ourselves. Again, we are rising to be independent, okay, but have interdependent relationships because, again, Pluto and Aquarius setting the tone for this generation is all about each one of us being able to self resource, for us to be able to soothe ourselves and give ourselves what we need in order to be strong, the strength within the collective. Okay. We're not leaning on external information. We're not leaning on other people to give us our answers, to give us our validation. We are able to now self resource what we need by healing these wounds once and for all, and being able to show up in a very authentic way, strong, and be able to have harmonious relationships with those who we are working with, those who we are engaging with in our own personal life. Okay. So again, this is a very significant next 6 months, and it is going to be much easier for you to be able to release than you probably suspected. So along with looking at the overlighting energies for each one of you in your sign, I will also pull cards, a card or cards, and usually ends up being cards, right? Cards for the final outcome. What will the final outcome at the end of this 6 months, or as this energy purges from your field, what will that look like for you? What is that final outcome? And I'm sure it's going to be significant for each one of us. So I hope that was helpful and not confusing, to be able to draw those parallels from the mythology, which really explains, personifies explaining, um, energies. That's what the mythology does, is it gives us some insight to, the energies through personifying or having people or gods. Are not really, I guess a person, right? A person being able to hold the energies. So again, let's not continue going on here. Again, I hope that was very helpful. Let's go ahead and dive into the cards for each one of you. One more thing. Okay, one more thing. Um, so I have started to say I wanted you guys to watch for your sun, because that is going to be your uh like I said, father figure, father in masculine energy in you and your external world and your purpose. Okay. This is very connected to what propels you forward, what keeps you moving in this life. Okay. Watch for your rising if you have that information, and that is going to be your whole self. Okay. And watch for your moon, because that again is your mother figure, but also the inner workings of you, how your mind works, how you think about things, the things that you eat, and taking in your home. So think inward for your moon. Okay, that's what that is. It's what's going on that everybody isn't necessarily seeing. What's going on inside of you, how you process things is going to be your moon. It's also a really great idea for you to watch for your Venus as well, because Venus is an active part of this, right? And Venus is your loves, like love and money. And she, but a lot of times people will watch their Venus for not only money, but for how people attract to them, what type of people they attract, that kind of thing. So you can, take the information and apply it to which one of these areas of your life or your chart, if you do have that information. Also, if you are interested in not having to wait for the content to be released throughout the week, to be able to get all of these, please join my Patreon community, and you will have access to all of the videos on Mondays. And you won't have to wait to watch for each one of those placements in your life. Or if you're wanting to cross watch for somebody who is significant for you, that's always very helpful for navigating your life as well. So, okay, now let's begin. Okay, Virgo. All right. So, as if you guys aren't in the middle of the most significant life change for yourself, anyway, I certainly hope that this information about this massive wound healing didn't overwhelm you, because it's going to be fantastic. I mean, you're definitely coming to terms with how to give yourself everything that you need in order to progress in your life without any sense of lack. All right. So, let's go ahead and use the gold foil deck to um uh-huh. Mhm. Okay, we've got Leo and Aquarius. We have two kings on the table. So if you're not dealing with father energy, I don't know who is. No, that one's not for you. Okay, just kind of fell out of there. No, that's not for you. Let's keep going. Okay, all right. All right. So yeah, straight away, this is telling me like family dynamics, authenticity within yourself, and definitely a father figure. This is also where you have reevaluated the things that you had been taught, and you're ready to take that information and go about your life in a very different way. You're getting the heck out of Dodge, um, in terms of what you thought that how life ought to be lived and what you needed to do for yourself, based on information that you've gotten from it just a masculine energy. It doesn't necessarily have to be father, but a masculine energy. Could have been even a mother who was like a single mom, but giving you that information about how we do life, and you're ready to do it different. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get clarifiers. The star card, Aquarius, love that. Aligning to your true self. Uh-huh. Page of Cups. Um, your ability to be creative, this is a very strong creative energy. Um, the Phoenix. Oh my God. Yeah, don't be nervous about this because holy, whoa, Virgo, look at you go. One more for the King of Swords, please. Haven't gotten it yet. Give me a moment. One more for the King of Swords. There we go. Okay. Three of Pentacles. Page of Wands. Uh-huh. 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 I'm starting to see a story emerge here. I'm starting to see it emerge. And Justice. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. So this is what I'm feeling for you, Virgo. I'm feeling like that you have done a lot of work to heal yourself. Really, you truly have. And so what we're looking at is kind of like this is conviction. Okay, this is you moving forward with absolute solidarity in what you want, and having a stable ground to expand your finances. Okay, that's what this at the bottom of the deck here is saying to you. The bottom of this one is your world is expanding. We do know that, don't we, Virgo? You're feeling it. This is the life that you've built for yourself. This is the options in your life, and you are looking at the world out there at large. Like, what now does it have to offer me? What is my next step? Okay. So we have this father image or this father figure right here that you have done, like I said, enormous amount of healing. This is where you receive blessings after the turbulent time. And you're beginning to get information on how you can create something new for yourself. Um, this is you expanding in your okay, so here's the story. This is where it begins to really unfold for me, okay? Because what I see is that you this and this, okay? What you have been very independent, okay? You have looked at yourself as someone who is work this is where you build financial well-being. Okay. And you have glorified yourself in that role, in that position. Okay. You have found independence. You have found uniqueness. You have found who you are, the truth of who you are through this work that you have built for yourself. This is around stable finances. This is around building. This is Taurus energy. Okay. So we're looking at this by itself and we're going, I know who I am when I'm working, when I'm creating something solid. This is where I shine. This is where I rise. Okay. And this is where you take that information and you go, wait a minute, can I do something different? What can I do different? And this page of wands talks about, well, I think that it is connecting, especially with this justice card. It's definitely connecting and moving forward. It's going forward. It's action oriented with what you want to commit yourself to. Justice is commitment. Justice is Libra. She knows what your heart wants. But I also see some strong like energy of potential partnership, relationship here. That's what I'm feeling for this. I'm not really seeing a whole lot of that, but as I feel into this, do you have to go about it by yourself anymore? Now that this father wound has healed in what is the wound? The wound has been like the way I was taught to work, the way I work all the time, the way I prove myself through work. Okay. That's that masculine energy that you had been taught. And now you're like, I'm really ready to revisit that whole thing. And I'm ready to now connect with passion. Uh huh. Uh huh. Through passion. All right. So let's go ahead and let's expand this. Where does your world expand? How does your world? There's an offer. What is this offer about? Tell me what this offer is about, Spirit. Tell me what this offer is about. Mm, hang on, bear with me here. and an entirely new life, a life of strong finances, a life of well-being, a life of good fortune. All right. Tell me more about the Knight of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. Tell me more. Tell me more. Oh my God, that Wheel of Fortune is magnificent, isn't it? Your fortunes change in your favor. Uh-huh. Okay. So, all right. So it is passionate. It is passion. Okay. But here you're so I was like, well, is this a connection with potentially a new love partner as in a new marriage, right? That could be with a justice, but it's definitely somebody that is aligned with your heart's desire, right? That you can potentially become into contract with. Okay. Now this looks like more of a friend than um a lover, but the Knight of Cups often suggests lover. So are we looking at you, somebody who was a friend, becoming more than a friend, and you and this person merge your wisdom, your knowledge about what to create in your life, how to create an empire for yourself, how to create enormous amount of financial well-being to where you don't have to work hard anymore at all. I think that literally the tables have turned, Virgo, and you have flipped the script on yourself. Oh my God. I love this for you. You have flipped the script from going from like working hard, improving yourself, taking care of everybody else, taking care of everything else, making sure that your work speaks for itself, and making and the sun, which is literally the higher octave of this pleasure card, happy let's see, charismatic, charming, king of wands. Okay. So the sun, this is where your life manifests in a very beautiful, significant, loving, childlike curiosity, fun way. Like everything manifests. Look, we've got this two of the same card talking about all of the fun, all of joy, all of the happiness, all of the pleasures of life, right? And then we comes right down here to the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So it ends you overthinking everything. What? Who are you right now, Virgo? Who are you? This is where your thoughts have literally taken you down, taken you out. Like you, like there was the darkest of the dark, right? And now the horizon is coming up, and you are seeing the dawn of a brand new day, and you are open to being blessed, and you are done with the overthinking and the over torturing yourself with those thoughts, and you are ready to move. Now, this could mean, uh, I mean, you physically moving. This could mean, um, like to a new house. Chariot is about transportation, about going, about long distance travel. Things that travel. And it's about picking your life up from where it has been and moving yourself completely in a new direction. Okay, so and you're doing this based in happiness. Sorry about that, camera guys. This is based in happiness and joy and love and connection and all things fun. And like I said, you flipped the script. You went from working hard and overthinking to having fun and being moved through joy, being moved through joy and pleasures and fun and happiness. Okay. So not that we really need it, but I would like to see here. I'm going to leave that there. And really, this is what pops out underneath. Okay. And this is love. And this is the star over here. My God. And this is you, right, Virgo. And this is you tending to your life. This is you getting everything you want. And this is you receiving everything you want without having to work hard for it. Oh my God. All these cards are just like one after another, after another, after another confirmation of you claiming the life that you and your spirit have built through, yeah, hard work initially, but it's not anymore. It's not anymore. Nope. And I'd seen that you potentially could be connecting with a lover, but and this is love, this is love, this is love. So there is a strong potential of it. And what do we have here now? Another Leo card. I mean, You are shining bright in this warm sunshine. So everything, literally, I don't even know if we could get one card that says it all. That's you, Virgo, and you connecting with okay, this is where you are harmonized with where you belong in life. This is where you're celebrating life. You belong. You are headed to a place that you are not going to be working hard. You are going to have enormous amount of pleasure, enormous amount of money, and you are going to enjoy your life and celebrate life itself. That's your outcome. That's your outcome. Mic drop. You literally, I mean, of everybody, you rewrote the story of your life from working hard and overthinking to pleasure and joy, happiness, and enormous amount of money and connection. I mean, I bow to you. I applaud you. I bow to you, Virgo. Magnificent. And I don't think that we could even add upon this because this is so quick and this is so absolute that it's like you don't even you're going. You know you're going and you know it's certain and you're done with anything that you had thought was important before that the way to go about it, you're done. It's over. You're healed. You're healed, Virgo. You are healed. So, congratulations. And there is not much left for me to say except that I love you and Source adores you and reap the rewards of that because it looks like you're ready to. So, bring it on. Okay, you have fun with all these magnificent manifestations and all of the joy of your life. Take care.